If you have to constantly text your girlfriends and be like, hey, what are you wearing? So I know what to wear. If one comment ruins your mood, or if you feel like you need someone else's opinion before you trust your own, this video is for you, because we've all been there. And this doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means that you might be in a headspace where you're taught to look outwards than inwards. And this can come from a lot of different internal issues that can be fixed. So here's what's on our menu for today. Ignore the wet spot on my shirt. My hair is wet and I have to get this video out before the beautiful sun goes away. I hope you can't hear anything going on in the background. So I'm not making this video as someone who has never sought out external validation in their life or someone who is perfect. This is coming from someone who literally faces this issue on a daily basis. You know, I've noticed that I was giving so much power away, and that doesn't resonate with me anymore. I think if you're in your 20s, if you're a student, or even if you're just in a transition period in your life, it can be so hard trying to do things because you feel like you're always being perceived, and that is honestly a lot to handle. So if this hits close to home, then stay with me. So why do we seek validation in the first place? I feel like this could be at some point in our lives, our confidence was stripped away from us, and it has led us to lack confidence moving forward in our school life, in our adult life, just in our everyday lives. But if you're watching this, it means that you know that there's an issue and you're taking the first step to change it. This could be for many reasons. Maybe you were bullied. Even if you were bullied at the ripe age of 9 years old, that could have stayed with you for a very long time, and I can really resonate with that, and I feel like it has changed a lot of my decisions and how I put myself out there. Or maybe you have a terrible family life, or a family life that's a bit more challenging. Maybe your parents didn't treat you the best. They might have talked down to you. You might have not experienced positive reinforcement growing up. Maybe you had a hard time at work. You know, things can happen, and I feel like that shapes how we act in our daily lives. So with this being said, early on you learn that approval matters and being liked matters, and being accepted feels better than being honest with yourself or true to yourself or making your own decision. You know, you start measuring your own self-worth to the reaction that you get from other people. So that might be why you have to text your friends, what outfit are you wearing first? Because you want to fit in. Or what should I text to this boy? Because you don't want to show him, or girl, whoever's watching this, you don't want to show this person who you're communicating with your true self because you care more about the response that you get from others. So it's not that you don't have confidence, it's that you were never given the space to actually grow. And this might now reflect how your life looks like in adulthood. But here's the part that a lot of people don't talk about. Just because this validation helped you survive and it helped you make decisions doesn't mean it gets to run your life forever. And there comes a point in your life, it's my 20s for me, where you start to realize that I'm safe with myself, you know, and I can make my own decisions and I don't have to do this. I can be confident. I can be my highest and best self. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to blame our past. Our past is still a part of us. Even if it doesn't align with us right now, we're not going to blame our old selves. We can only move forward. So this is about redefining our future and our present. We need to change right now in order to have a different future, in order to prosper. So this is where our lovely modes come in, because how we seek validation is based on where we're aligning from. If you're in a spiral mode, if you're in survival mode, that's going to change how you feel. But if you're in alignment mode, you get validation from yourself. So survival mode, this sounds like if people approve of me, then I'm okay. You know, you're operating from everyone else and not yourself. You're just doing this to survive. Oh, I think the sun is going away. This could even look like, I know I've given the example of asking your friends what to wear, but this can even present itself in over-explaining. I do this a lot because I love to be honest. I love to tell the truth, but I find that I dig myself into deep, deep holes in a lot of conversations. When having conversations, if you are able to stand 10 toes down on what you believe in, you don't need to over-explain. That is good. That is operating from over here and not in survival mode. This could also present itself in changing your opinion mid-sentence because people around you have different viewpoints. Stand with what you think. Okay, I believe that, I don't know. I can't give any examples, right? Or I love the orange starburst. but everyone, I don't, but to give an example, you love the orange Starburst. Everyone around you says they like pink, they hate orange. Now all of a sudden orange is not your favorite? Why not? We don't need external validation. We are staying right where we are. Right where we are. We like orange. We don't need other people's opinions in order to keep us moving forward and feel like we need to survive. And we have spiral mode. Ugh, spiral mode. This is just, everyone feels this way. At some point at least. This could be, oh, they didn't reply to me immediately. I did something wrong. They don't like me, this and that. When really they could be busy, or maybe sure, they didn't reply to you because they don't like you, but we're not spiraling. We are not spiraling. This can also present itself in how people support your dreams. So for example, you want to be a successful YouTuber, or maybe your parents want you to be a doctor, but you want to be an artist, a chef, something. Now all of a sudden, oh, they don't support me, which means I'm not going to try. I'm not going to go on my alignment path, what I feel like works well with me, because people don't support me. Once again, who cares? We don't need that external validation. Everyone on this planet is their own person. We don't need external validation at the end of the day, because the only validation that should matter is what comes from within. Now moving on to our expensive gelato, our sous chef, our everything on the menu, alignment mode. Alignment mode doesn't mean you stop caring what people think. It doesn't mean after you watch this video, I'm done caring. I'm done. Maybe you still care what people think, but when you're in alignment mode, you care what you think first. Sure, you're allowed to ask someone their opinion, but their opinion doesn't change your reality. You don't revolve around what other people think when you're over here in alignment mode. Alignment mode, you don't need to prove yourself to others. You don't need to hear what other people are saying in order to exist. You can sit with the discomfort of whatever you're going through and not need reassurance. A perfect example for this, whenever, like say you're in a breakup right now, you're going through the most unimaginable pain, because that's usually what happens. You want to die, but you know that you are going to make it out on the other side. You know it's going to be okay. You don't run to people whenever even an inkling of negativity pops into your brain. You know, say you're really sad. You're not immediately running to your ex. You are secure. When you're in alignment mode, you don't need to text your friends and ask them what they're wearing, because you know at the end of the day, you're still gonna look good regardless. You're that girl, you're that guy, you're that. You are that, okay? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of all of this. Sometimes this external validation doesn't present itself in ways that seem negative. If anything, it's just like, oh, I'm just trying to be secure, or I just want your opinion now, you know? But at the end of the day, it does mean that something inside is not fully stable. And it's just hard because it doesn't look like that all the time. And I feel like a lot of us do this because we don't want to disappoint anyone, or we don't want to feel misunderstood, or sometimes we're even just afraid of getting into an argument. It's like conflict avoidance. But at the end of the day, doing this shrinks ourselves. We're not our true authentic selves when we're always seeking external validation from others. We're shrinking ourselves, we're softening our edges, we're not being who we are. And over time, this can become really damaging, and you can truly disconnect for yourself, and not fully because you don't know who you are, but because you don't trust yourself enough to do what you want to do. To resolve this is you just need to come back to yourself. Next time you get dressed to go somewhere with your friends, don't ask for reassurance. The sun is going away, and I have like one more thing to say. So the final thing, I think that after all of this has been said and you've listened, I want you to just sit with this for a while and think, is there anything or any decision that I don't need to ask for reassurance anymore? I feel like that is a big step. Even one thing, whether it's big or small. Next time something comes up, don't check in. Actually, I'm not gonna give any ideas, but just think and let me know. Let me know in the comments. But with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if this video resonated with you. I still don't know what to call this. Like, I mentioned a menu at the beginning, so it was just like, you know what? See you on the next brunch. See you on the next breakfast or something. See ya.